Hey, what's going on, people? This is JT from JTCoinRings, where I talk coin rings and all things precious metals. And we have here Darrel from the Money Level Show. How you doing, Darrel?
Hey, I'm doing good, doing good. Just getting over a little sick bug, but I think I'm back on the mend. So I'm excited to be back and active.
Well, I'm glad to see you, man. Thanks for coming in for this talk. We are talking about a new gold coin in 2024 that sparked my interest. Darrel sent me this afternoon. I was like, whoa, I would love to get this for my daughter. So as I was looking at it, I found out it was the Harriett Tubman $5 coin, which we have right here. And I was thinking, like, wow, I remember the talk of 2021 about having Harriett Tubman on the $20 bill. This currency will be circulated. And how did they come about making it a commemorative coin and not the currency as was originally taught at the beginning of the Biden administration? So I just thought it was interesting, and I wanted to pull Darrel in the conversation because I know that he collects gold and silver coins. He just picked up a whole bunch of Booker T. Washington $50. These coins were issued around the early 1950s, if I'm not mistaken, Darrel. What was the year? 1954? What was the year of those Booker T. Washingtons that you grabbed?
I don't know. It's either 40s or 50s. So I forgot the exact.
One of my favorite coins, and he also had a combination of Carter G. Woodson that they had a combination. And these were pretty big in the early 50s. They were a lot of city schools were given these commemorative coins as well. It was the first African American on any U.S. coinage, if I'm not mistaken. Was that the fact that you heard also on Darrel?
Yeah. Booker T. Washington was the first African American on a silver $50, and I mean those were in circulation, and so and then also he was the first African American to be invited for dinner in the White House. The one before that was Josiah, I think Henson or something like that. I forgot his real name, but he's portrayed as Uncle Tom's Cabin. He was the first to be something with the White House, but I don't think he dined there. But Booker T. Washington was the first to dine there.
Yeah, well, Booker T had a lot to do in Washington. He had the Booker T or the Tuskegee machine behind him, and a lot of the political things that was working in the back that people don't know about. He was working on laws. He was working on things with getting Africans from the continent here in America and making sure that they was not exited or kept out. Booker T also was the president of Tuskegee Institute, Tuskegee University, or Tuskegee College. It wasn't a university at the time, was it? So he was the president, the first president, and he came there, I think, around his early 20s.
1880.
So he had a lot to do with the Pan-African movement. Booker T did a lot. A lot of people may not know, but he did a lot, and he earned his right on U.S. coinage because he was very much American, and he was very much important in getting things created and started in that community of Tuskegee down in Alabama. So I have a couple of those coins as well, and I'm looking forward to doing more as coin rings, but I definitely want to keep more in my stack. So I'm kind of jealous that Darrel went and got a little lot of them. So I had to go make sure I buy me a couple of those as well.
Yeah.
But as we going on, we're looking at this Harriett Tubman 2024 uncirculated $5 gold coin. And now my question is, okay, it's the new coin 2024. How many people will be putting this in their stack? What about your thoughts on this, Darrel? Are you gonna put this in your stack?
I was thinking about it, and I think that it's a really I mean, Harriett Tubman was a very important figure in African American history, and but I just don't know if I can handle that premium there.
Okay.
So that was kind of at first, it's almost like I'm trying to work self-control in terms of like me getting emotionally tied to certain things, like because whether I buy the gold coin or not, Harriet Tubman is going to be Harriet Tubman, and what she's done is what's going to be done, and her contributions to the nation. But I just don't know. I'm still undecided. You know, I mean, because this $5 coin is pretty much almost a quarter ounce. I mean, it's 0.24 ounces if you scroll down to the specifications.
Right.
And it's going for $708. I mean, gold right now is at $2,000, over $2,000 an ounce. So, I mean, you're paying a hefty premium for the Harriet Tubman and the artwork.
Now, I brought this one up because this is one that I bought my daughter. I went and got her the silver medallion, and I also got her the 1/10 ounce gold coin here as well. I couldn't afford the 1 ounce, unfortunately. And I remember when this coin was out. Do you remember this coin, Darrel?
That's been one on my hit list for a little while. Been trying to snag at some point.
Man, I was so upset that I had to get rid of one. But I'm definitely going to get it back because I wanted one for both of my daughters. But this is what I bought my youngest daughter for her 5th year. And people ragged this one. I thought it was a beautiful depiction. This was the 225th anniversary high relief gold coin of the United States Mint. And people thought that the woman had a scowl on her face. She didn't have a pleasant look on her face. I thought it was a beautiful coin based off the headdress, having the cornrows. I really liked it. Now, I did hear some negative things about this coin in comments when people had it posted, but I also heard good things. I bought this coin for originally maybe $100 maybe $50, and I heard it's when it's high. The 1/10 ounce when it's high, it's almost $600 at one point on the market. So it's one of those coins that's definitely gonna hold value. You really can't get hold of it. You may find it maybe on eBay or some private sellers, but it did sell out, and they did bring it back. I think last year. Like Jam Bullion and APMEX, I believe, brought it back. So I'm thinking that these are great coins that families can start to grab. Like I would like to have more for my daughter. Maybe if I could pass one down to a relative, but it's a good way to introduce people into stacking or having precious metals. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think that it's a collectible, for sure. This wouldn't be in my something that I would want to sell. I mean, you would have to be in dire situations for me to sell, sell it.
I know about dire situations. You know me.
So I mean, because I had to sell a lot of my collectible coins and everything, but the ones that I didn't want to sell, I still have. I actually ended up listing one of them that I was just very emotionally tied to. But I ended up listing that one. So I think, for coins like this, I mean, when you're looking at, the demographics that you're reaching. So especially if you're reaching like the African-American citizens of the United States. And I don't know the numbers of how many of us own gold, but like, I can tell you, like, you are one of the few people that I can count on two hands in my phone that own gold.
Right.
So outside of jewelry, but outside of jewelry. And so when you're appealing to a certain audience, and you're showing like, okay, you all are American, right? And this is a coin that could appeal to the Black audience, and I think that that's probably why you saw it. Appeals to everyone, but I mean, you can really see like how the value just shot up so quick, and so that can happen with Harriet, I mean, a couple of my friends, like they just text me. We were texting the other day, what are you learning? Oh, we just watched. We just read a book and watched a documentary on Harriett Tubman.
Mm-hmm.
It's out the middle of nowhere, and I was like, oh, okay. And they're both white, and so
Right.
they could potentially be a buyer of this. So
It could be a buy. And one thing about precious metals, and I want to make sure that this point is drove home. Stacking or collecting is for everyone, anyone who can basically do it. And in this video, I want to talk about the demographics because I heard about stacking or collecting from a coworker that gave me a book in 2007. I didn't act on it. He was the only person I ever met that taught me about silver and gold coins. Then I stumbled on the stacking and precious metal community here on YouTube. Now I could knock on maybe 30 neighbors' doors in my community, and I probably only have maybe one person if I do a little survey that could tell me about what the spot price of silver or gold was for that day. Maybe. So I'm just saying the point I'm not many people in my community um, really focused on stacking precious metals. So now that I'm introduced to it and I'm starting to see that certain things like this are there, these are perfect things for my children to see, to see images of themselves. Like Baltimore, Maryland is what we call Tubman City because right in Eastern Shore, Harriet Tubman was here. This is her home. And as I was going through this, I wanted to talk about those specifications of this coin, and then also talk a little bit about how many Americans stack silver and gold. So let's go to this coin right here real quick. So as you said, it's a hefty price, $708. It's telling me pre-order. So as we see here, we have Harriet Tubman on the obverse. In God We Trust. The mint is Westport,
Mhm.
and we have, I guess, the person who engraved it up in here too. I guess we have to read. We'll get a little more on the reverse. We have self-determination, faith, freedom, family, community, equality, and social justice. If I'm not mistaken, is this the same thing that's on the um, Booker T. Washington and Carter G. Woodson coin?
I don't think it's on there. Not those specific words. I know the
Okay.
Booker T. Washington says from the slave cabin to
The
the
White
Hall of
House.
Fame.
Yeah.
So it's something along those lines. I could pull it out here in a minute.
Yeah.
Look at it, but and I think that obviously when you get the word social justice on there,
Mm-hmm.
that's gonna have somebody blow a fuse, right?
Yep.
So I already see that being a landmine for someone not wanting to purchase this coin.
Yes. This is why some of the hate I've seen in some comments. Let me look that up real quick, Darrel. Go ahead and talk a little bit more about that. I'm gonna look up this Booker T. Washington and Carter G. Woodson coin.
Yeah. My only thing with this coin, I think, is obviously you have the values. They say these are the values of Harriet Tubman. Uh, I have not read that anywhere. Also, have not done extensive research on Harriet Tubman to know that these were some values that she's communicated in any of her writings or anything of that nature. So I just leave that there. However, I think one of my issues um, with I would say parts of the history that is told about Harriet Tubman is like there's parts of it that we don't know to be 100% fact. Um, and what I mean by that is that, like for example, is Harriet Tubman her real name?
Mm-hmm.
Like it was so dangerous to be doing that type of work that she was doing in that day. And so would you want to go under your government alias
Mm.
And there was a lot of history about people that did that type of work during that day, that used different aliases, that they would tell like fabricated stories. They would fabricate certain stories just to get people believing one thing, so that they wouldn't really find out who this person's identity really was and things of that nature. So it's kind of like, not saying that what the current research that we have on Harriett Tubman does that, but so it's kind of like, okay, did they do the due diligence on this, or did they just use the cookie cutter, kind of stuff that we learn about Harriet Tubman, like through
Right.
the movie or whatever,
Well, during the time of 2021 is when he came out with her movie as well, and he made her seem like a more superhero. And some people who liked that movie, and some people that did not like it. But it's even here or there. They're bringing up the conversation on putting her on the $20 bill, and now here on a gold coin. So I wonder if this would become more favorable. The reason why I brought up the reverse side is because this is what I remembered. It was freedom and opportunity for all, Americanism. And this was the thing that was being really pushed during this time frame of this the minting of this coin. This is the Carter G. George Washington Carver. I say Carter G. Woodson. My apology. It was the Booker T. Washington and George Washington Carver coin. As we see, this is the obverse side of it here, and it has Carver, Liberty, Booker, Washington. This is the $50. In God We Trust, United States of America, and then we have the reverse. So everything is pushed of like on the new gold coin of Harriet Tubman. You have what? Social justice. And this was pushed Americanism because, at this time, communism was really being, they believed it was going through the African American community. People was taking on that thought they believed. So they really wanted to push Americanism. So it was amazing that I saw this on that coin. So you brought up the fact that this has social justice, community, family, freedom.
You're still on the silver coin.
Huh?
There we go. Your screen just updated.
Okay. So we talking about what was on the reverse side of this. How will this be looked at? Self-determination, freedom, family, community, equality, social justice. Will this be, looked at as being something positive? You see here, it's like so she's reaching to help someone. It's a lot of imagery here. I think it's a beautiful coin. I think they did a pretty good job on the obverse side. I really like it.
It's pretty dope. I just think that the biggest stumbling block is going to be social justice, because there's already a stigma, tied with that. And this is for a specific audience, a specific side of the political spectrum, or whatever you want to call it, right? This doesn't mean that this coin wouldn't sell out. A bunch of Democrats would probably buy this coin, and so like, it doesn't mean that it's not going to succeed. But if you go back to the values, most people that are probably watching this show probably agrees with most of those values. But until you get to like the one that has the most stigma, which is the social justice, like you get the social justice warrior stigma, all of that, right? I've heard it all, and so that may be the stumbling block, that for some folks.
So let's talk about this. It's all the sales open for pre-orders January the 4th. So that happened this week until inspected shipping date February 12th, 2024. Introductory price will be in effect for single options until February 5th, 2024. Okay, so we have, this is a pre-order, $708. Now let's look at the mintage. It'll be 50,000 across all products. Product limit is none. So household order limit is none. You can buy as many as you want. That's That's rare. I haven't seen that many for like commemorative coins. Usually there's a limit you can buy, right? So it goes on. It talks about who Harriett Tubman was. I'll read a little bit of this, and we'll go to the other stuff. So it says Harriett Tubman is well known for her role as a conductor of the Underground Railroad. After freeing herself from slavery, she personally returned to the South numerous times to lead others out, and provided instructions to still more people who found their way to freedom. Now, however, she didn't stop there. In 1862, Harriett Tubman joined the Union Army as a nurse and served in multiple roles, including Army Scout and spy. She was the first woman to lead an armed expedition in the Civil War. This is the Combahee River Raid, which resulted in more than 700 enslaved people being freed. Following the Civil War, Miss Tubman continued to fight for causes she believed in. She was an active suffragist, I can't pronounce that word, speaking out for the right of women to vote. She also worked to provide care for newly freed people. Young and old, Harriett Tubman's life was characterized by an unwavering pursuit of freedom in every aspect of American life. So it goes on to talk about the obverse side, which stated this is a $5 coin, and the specifications are right here. You want to go through that specifications, Darrel?
Yeah. I mean, $5. I mean, it's 90% gold, 6% silver. The rest of the balance is copper, so 4% copper. So the weight, I mean, is less than a quarter ounce of gold. I mean, plus that being 90% gold, right? So you're receiving, I don't know, 90% of 0.24 troy ounces of gold. So whatever that is, that's the amount of gold content. West Point Mint. And so, I mean, like, $708. I mean, it's kind of hefty for 90% of 0.24 ounces of gold. I mean, and I bought like pre-33s, which aren't like 100%, but those definitely have they've held their weight, and they have a lot of ties with the with the Gold Confiscation Act and all of that stuff, right? And so yeah, I mean, if you go over to the silver coin, so like look at the face on the gold coin, right? You see the face, right? That look a little bit more like Harriett Tubman. You go to the silver one, it seems like they try to make a younger version of Harriett Tubman, and it just doesn't feel authentic to me.
Right. And what's wrong? I remember hearing comments about what's wrong with showing her in her elder state as well, showing one who's in her elder state, showing a younger Harriett Tubman has to be for a reason. Give her a softer side.
I haven't seen any pictures of her younger self. I've only seen her older self pictures. Have you seen younger self?
I can never say I can never seen a younger Harriett Tubman, only when she was married. And I remember an iconic picture of her sitting in a rocking chair. She was in her elder state. So I remember that. So to find this, they have to find this picture somewhere, or they had to recreate it. So I'm pretty interested on how did they come about this image. This looks something like the movie. If I can
Can you go over to can you go to the silver coin?
Sure. This one here?
Yeah.
Okay, we got here. Boom. We have here the Harriett Tubman 2024 proof silver dollar coin, commemorative coin, $82 for this coin here. So that's Philadelphia Mint, and it's a commemorative coin.
Your screen hasn't updated. It's still on the gold coin.
Okay, 1 second here.
There we go. It's up.
Okay, my apologies. We have Harriett Tubman 2024 proof silver dollar.
Now zoom in on her face there.
Okay. That looked like the movie to me. Maybe.
Yeah, like it does not look like, bro. Like it does not look like Harriett Tubman.
No.
So that was kind of if I could share my screen, I'm just looking at some pictures of Harriett Tubman.
Yeah,
Uh,
let me know
I
when
mean,
you.
obviously, you know the. I'm just looking at some pictures of Harriett Tubman. I mean, this is her. I mean, she may have been younger here. I don't know what 40s, 50s. You know.
Okay.
Um,
Okay. Check this one out here. What is this one here? This looks kind of her young in the top. That's the second one. Looks kind of young here. Is that her?
I don't know. It says
It says a
pictorial
younger.
manifestation.
Okay.
So I'm just kind of wondering if this is what's pictorial manifestations. Is this a
I guess the style of portrait. I've never seen that picture before.
yeah, and I'm wondering if mislabeled as young Harriet Tubman. This is Sarah Forbes Bonita.
Okay.
Bonetta. Yep. So she was mislabeled as Harriet Tubman, being Harriet
Okay,
Tubman.
gotcha.
So yeah, so I mean, the coin doesn't really look like her, you know. And so if you look at the Booker T. Washington, like it looks like him.
It looks like him. Carter G. Woodson. Looks like him.
George Washington Carver.
George Washington Carver. I'm people thinking. I don't know why I go to the Black History. They in my mind. Maybe I'm still.
Carter G. Woodson was he?
He began the Black History Week.
Okay, yeah. I was trying to think what the name of the guy that meant that. I forgot the name of the guy that had actually designed the coin.
But we have another one here, another image. So they look to me like they doing different phases. Okay, this is another proof dollar, which is $49. 750,000 will be minted of this coin. Okay, so they have different types. They have a whole set as well that I wound up finding. So I mean, I just wanted to bring this up because
I may get the $half, you know, I may get the $half or something, but
yeah, something. I got to think about what's in the budget. But what I wanted to bring up with this is like, hey, you know, how will it be accepted? How many households, African American households, will have it in their home? How will it be accepted through the collecting, the coin collecting community? I wonder if it's going to be just like the 225th anniversary of the Lady Liberty gold coin. I loved it, but I did hear some rumbling. But I think we should be included in the United States. So it's a benefit, you know, to see yourself or see your liking on coins, you know.
Yeah, for sure. And it's
Right.
also like I think we live in a it's been a long time. I mean, because you have Booker T. Washington and was the 50s or whatnot on the coin, and then it wasn't until Jackie Robinson in the 90s that another, you know, African American was put on the coin. And so now with today's, you know, technology and you know how big media is, I mean, if you look at if you Google the coin, you got some huge articles put it out. I mean, New York Times put it out. CNN. You had quite a few well read, you know, that have huge, you know, populations of people that read their content. These articles put them out. These news companies put them out. So Washington Post. I mean, so it's getting out to more people now. I mean, obviously, you and I, you know, we've been in the coin community. You've been in longer than me, but we already know a lot of the stuff. But like, you know, I guess they're trying to appeal to, you know, more people, you know, that don't.
I pulled up this article right here. This is when June 3rd, 2021. This article was by Annie Linsky, and she wrote about when will Harriett Tubman adorn the $20 bill? So I think that this was a scratch. This was thrown out, and the gold commemorative coin was what they picked up. So we do remember this article talks about um, Harriet Tubman being considered being put on the bill, and this is going to be a markup. So an artist rendering an abolitionist Harriet Tubman on a $20 bill. So the women of the 20s. I don't know. They was really about pushing this. They had a lot of red flags. Now, to read this article, one of the red flags was that they had to put um, some type of technology for the blind, so they can able to read the monies. And also, the biggest drawback would be they would have to change some settings in ATMs. So they had a lot of drawbacks about changing or taking um, change a $20 bill, and this is one of the reasons why they did not change the image. And even though they had talks, number one was security, number two was the fact of putting a new technology on this coin, and it would cost too much in order to do it. But in the talks of
The government
change,
was too broke to do it.
say it again.
So the government was too broke to do it.
The government too broke to do it.
Yeah.
I don't know, because they donated $1.5 billion for a building in order to get these things done, and I'm trying to find that part right now.
Going to go in and change all the ATMs and all of that. That seems like a lot.
Yeah, they was like America's paper money features an array of white male leaders: George Washington on the $1, Thomas Jefferson on a 2, Abraham Lincoln on the 5, Alexander Hamilton on 10, Jackson on the 20, Ulysses Grant on the 50, Benjamin Franklin on 100. So they was really trying to change the dynamics of it by putting Harriet Tubman on the 20. But I'm trying to find that part of this article which they stated that it would cost a certain amount. But okay, this is the imagery. The then Treasury Jack Lew examines a rendering of Harriet Tubman during a visit of the Bureau Engraving and Printing in 2016. Where's that part? I'm trying to find. Okay, here we go. Okay, it says meanwhile, the Bureau officials successfully pushed for a new building, telling Congress they need the new building $1.4 billion facility to support the next generation of currency scheduled for the release over the coming decade. So it is on course to be constructed in Beltsville, Maryland, about 100 miles from Tubman's childhood home, which is recently discovered on the state of Eastern Shore. So even if it did not go on the $20 bill, they still looking to build a $1.4 billion facility. So the government's going to be benefiting from this new thing, and it's all because they said they need the facility to support the next generation of currency scheduled to release over the next coming decade. So I'm just saying that
they're not issuing the CBDC by then.
No. So complicating matters further, the effort to change Jackson's portrait is caught up in a 2008 court order that any new currency must include some kind of tactile signifier similar to Braille, so those who are blind or visually impaired can distinguish between various denominations. So this is another holdup. The American Council of the Blind sued the Treasury Department in 2002 to force the agency to add such features, and the federal judge ultimately ordered that the next security overhaul of the nation's currency must include some type of tactile element. So, like supporters of the Tubman portrait, representatives of the blind are still waiting. So these are other issues while this could not happen. So I guess it was easier, since this couldn't happen, I guess it was easier to make sure we have the gold coin. So I'll make sure I put this article.
It was also good timing too. right? Election year.
Yeah, good time, isn't it? Right, good timing. So you say, I didn't forget, Harriett is on a coin, a commemorative coin. And guess what, guys? We put it on silver and gold. So I guess that was a benefit. Okay. So I wanted to go in this part of the article. Um, it was the 12% of Americans are gold collectors. Okay, because is this showing up yet, Darrel?
Yeah, I see it.
Okay, so it says because I wanted to know like how many people collect silver and gold, and this is October 24th, 2019, because like I said, I think you mentioned as well, how many people in your family or people in your community collect precious metals to make this even a topic at the dinner table. And we look at 12% of Americans are collectors, are gold collectors. That's a small amount.
Mm-hmm.
Think about how many of that are African American.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, just even in my own circle, I mean, I had to, you know, we wouldn't, many of my family wouldn't own it if I didn't speak of it or if I didn't buy them, buy it for, And so, yeah, it's kind of interesting.
All right. This goes on to state that 12% of all Americans own gold, 14.7 own silver. So a lot more people own silver than own gold. Then it says 9.1 indicated they own both gold and silver. So it's still, I mean, just going through these small numbers, about 1 in 10 are invested in precious metals of some kind. And I also wanted to show one more thing, this right here. This is called, let me see if this is showing. Yeah. This is what it broke down. Coin collector demographics and statistics in the United States. As we know, majority of males, 62.1% are coin collectors. Only 37.9 are women. All right. So we see a lot more. But even though I do see a lot of women coming through the YouTube, starting pages. When I talk to my coin shop where I go, you also say you're very hard pressed to see women as collectors, but you do see them. But 62% are male. It says right here the coin collector gender pay gap. So males make 32,000 average, make $32,070, and women make 30,000. So what do you think about the stats when you look at more men being interested in than women?
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's kind of I just think regardless of how many men or how many women like own it, it's not enough. I mean, and it just shows like we're pretty far away from the historical recent history. I mean, so like, when you look at I'm sure this number has probably decreased significantly since the 60s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, right? I mean, even the early 2000s, a lot of people were buying gold then. So, I mean, I just think that the numbers probably fallen off quite a bit. But the people that lived close to, the Great Depression, or they were raised by parents that lived through that and everything, they knew to own silver, right? They knew to own some gold on your hand. And then when the gold silver was tied, that opened access to more people owning it. And so it became legal to own it again. So, I mean, I don't really have any take on it now in terms of like, men versus women, like the percentage is still small either way,
Well, I mean, the reason why I bring it up is only because we officially talked about the 2024 coin that's just going to be released real soon, Harriett Tubman. If we have majority of them being men, how many would like, hey, let me go grab this Harriett Tubman coin? I think that the mint for a couple attempts from the last 2 years have been trying to get more women involved. Why? Because they start having the women edition or commemorative coins that came out on quarters. The Maya Angelou, the Man Eater, the also what's her name, Wu. They had a couple quarters that came out last year and the year before that kind of honored women. So, and then you have this coin that I believe would take interest of maybe Black households, African Americans, and also women. So it seemed like they're trying to even up the ground here. We have white males being predominantly coin collectors demographic by race, but we have
this is just white, just in general. It's not white male.
Yeah, white. I'm sorry, white.
It's about 60%.
Almost 60%, 59.2%. Then you have the quarters that came out that commemorative women. You had some of them being Asian descent. You have some being of Mexican descent. So you see that they're also looking at the Hispanic community, the Black African or African American community, also the Asian community were some of the coins that came out in the recent years. And then once again, we have 2024, an African American woman such as Harriett Tubman. It seems like they're trying to grab more people, more women of color, maybe getting them involved. What do you think about that thought?
Yeah. I mean, it looks like the writing on the wall for sure. I mean, especially since there isn't the Maya Angelou coins were not silver. You know what I'm saying, at all. So it's like, okay, let's put
they did come out with some ones you can order from the mint. I believe that were 90% silver.
Okay, they did. I know the ones I have, like the quarters, like they're zinc and copper.
Right. I'm thinking even they may have some you can get 90%. I didn't buy any, but I'm thinking that the mint does offer 90% ones. If they didn't offer those in this series, then forgive me. I'm a misspoken, but I think for all of the commemorative coins, they do offer 90% as well. Because I know people who made coin rings out of them, and they do make the 90% coin ring. So maybe I haven't gotten one. I didn't order a roll, but I just wonder. I'm just interested based off these demographics why they put out things, and we saw the mintage. We saw 50,000 for the gold, 400,000 for some of the silver dollars, 700,000. Are they hoping to increase a certain demographics participation in collecting silver and gold? So
I mean, my question would be like, are they hoping to get more sales? I mean, does the United States government want you to own more gold? That's, know what I mean? Like, it's like, do they want you to own more gold? Like, are we encouraging, like, I mean, when you look at like the BRICS nations, for example, like China, encourages their people to own more gold and stuff. Like for us, like I don't know if that's the case. And then even with these statistics, like I don't know how they gather them, and I'm not gonna be cherry picking with them because they aren't really. They try to disaggregate the data, but it's like there's a few things that I kind of question, because like in Asian, it's like, okay, well, China, you got Lunar New Year, right, where they're buying gold all the time,
right?
So like,
but are they buying gold to store their wealth? Are they coin collectors? Because this is based off people who are into maybe the numismatic.
Yeah. So this is like a specific niche. It seems like rather than, I mean, because if you ask like many Asians or that's not just China. I mean, there's other places in Asia. I mean, if you talk about India, right?
Right.
If you ask them, do they own gold?
They say, yeah.
that number would go up significantly. I mean, like jewelry in India is like just Very, very significant.
Right. You're talking about the jewelry. You definitely, you see the pictures, you see that in the culture, they wear they adorn themselves from the waist up in gold. And I think I did a video about toe rings, and the toe rings have to be silver because from the waist down, it's disrespectful to wear anything gold from the women based off of what I was reading. So, I mean, you see the earrings, the nose earrings, the necklaces, the bracelets, they adorn themselves in gold. So they do have gold, I believe, in jewelry form, but in a form of collecting coins. If the nation does not produce them or they may not own them. But so I think this is based off just pure coin collectors. And we see that I thought the African Americans were least in collecting, but we see in these numbers, like you said, we don't know where these numbers basically come from. Zippia.com. This is the first time I've heard of it, but I just wanted to look it up. But they say Asians in every year from 2010 to 2021, when it comes down to collecting, they definitely have low numbers. So
yeah, I find it hard to believe, Yeah. I was like, yeah, I find that very hard to believe. Based off, like, if you look at, cultures and their connection to their culture back home.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe this is just coin collecting, like, buying like a numismatic coin or something like something of that nature. Maybe they don't do that, but you could definitely, I would bet money that majority of them own like some form of jewelry or something.
Yeah, I think in jewelry form and something maybe more appealing. But when it comes down to this, these numbers, I just wonder if they're trying to increase sales, and if it's majority in America, white males or whites, will they want to buy multicultural images on their coins? It's just a thought, because I'm thinking, why would they mint that many, or why would they mint so little when we know coins are usually minted in the millions? When it comes down to, they know there's going to be big sales. Anytime you think about the United States Morgan or Peace dollar 2023 or 2024, they sell out in less than 15 minutes. So just wanted to know how people felt about the new 2024 coin coming out. So Darrel, thank you so much, man. Let the people know where they can find you.
Yeah, you can find me at the Money Level Show. You see it on the screen. You can follow my channel there. I talk a lot of things macro. I talk a lot of things precious metals. I'm in the crypto, stocks, bonds, all type of stuff, right? We just get through economics and finance and try to put it all together so that we can make informed decisions and educate ourselves effectively.
Awesome, man. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate you. Always like your perspective, a man of thought. Great channel, great information, man. Look forward to new interviews and content coming on your show. And man, I'll see you next time. I got a topic to talk about.
All right. Sounds good, bro. See you soon.
All right, guys. Y'all take care, and we'll see you next video.
Take pride in your stack and wear it. Johnson Toe is an American craftsman who could take your favorite coin design and create art that you'd be very proud to wear, and something very special to share. JTCoinRings, handcrafts, handmade jewelry, especially for you.